That's when she stated the claim, I am your biological aunt, and the only way that that's possible is if my brother is your dad.
Hello, you are listening to NPE Stories. This is a podcast where NPEs can share their story. I'm your host, Lily. NPE is a term that stands for Not Parent Expected or Non-Paternity Event. This means one or more of our parents are not who we believed them to be. NPE Stories is a podcast where NPEs can share their story of what their original family was like, how they found out they were an NPE, and what their journey has been like since the day they found out. Welcome to episode 1, where our first NPE to share their story is Matt from Texas. So today I have Matthew. Hi, Matthew.
Hey.
Hi. Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Very welcome.
So I know nothing about your NPE story, and if you don't mind, I'd just like to find out from the beginning what your childhood was like, what your original family was like before this happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it may not need to be said, but I'll go ahead and say it. Up until a few weeks ago, nobody knew. Not one person knew about this. So
Wow.
this has been interesting for everybody. So that being said, to answer your question, my family life growing up was decent. I don't have too many complaints because compared to others, it was I had everything I needed, and I had a good childhood. I mean, every family has their problems, but to speak fairly, I had a very good childhood, and I'm happy with the way that I was raised by my parents. So I hope that answered.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like you had a great childhood.
Mm-hmm.
So did you have the mom, dad, did you have siblings?
Yeah, so mom and dad my mom had my sister, half sister, before in a previous relationship. So that was her first kid.
Okay.
And then after that is when she met my dad, and they had me, and then they got married, and then they had my brother. So just the three of us. So I'll kind of just speed things up real quick.
Yeah.
Basically, to get down to the timeline, we had to. I've spoken with my dad, and from here on out, I'll refer to the dad who raised me as my dad, and my biological dad. I'll call him my biological dad, or Jay is his name.
Okay. Got
So
it.
Jay is the new guy.
Uh-huh.
So, after being, all right, I'm going to start from the beginning. So, this woman named Jada had reached out to me on Ancestry DNA. My family had done the kits, and
Yes.
for like a Christmas, it was like a Christmas gift present, and so everybody got one. And I was really just interested in it because I wanted to see what my ethnicities were, the percentages. I was always curious about that, and I just thought that was really cool. I wasn't particularly interested in family trees. That wasn't the reason why I wanted to do it. So when I got my results back, I just didn't even bother paying any attention to the family tree of features that they have. So I kind of forgot about that, and about a kind of roughly a year went by, probably a little more, and this lady named Jada reached out to me and said, "Hey, it's showing that we're on the same family tree and that we're closely related." And I just thought that was really cool. I was like, "Oh yeah, somebody, I might have a cousin out there. That's interesting."
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I I remember that same weekend. It was Mother's Day weekend, so not too long ago. Um, I was talking to my dad. I said, "Hey, this lady messaged me saying that we're closely related. I think she might be a cousin." And my dad looks at it and he was just real quiet, but looking at it funny. And
Mm.
then my uncle next to him grabbed the phone from his hand and looked at it too. And part of me was just felt something was off by the way that they reacted, but uh, I'm not usually one who's paranoid, so I just didn't think into it. Anyway, they're just like, yeah, I don't know. We have some Richardson in our family, so there's was a last name. So we thought, hey, they could be a cousin on the other side of our family. But when I talked with this lady more and more, we're starting to realize that we don't have any connections that from last names. So we don't known last name that I named and known last name that she named connected. We couldn't figure out what parents we were connected. We just couldn't figure it out. And then she started to talk to me about centimorgans. So we had 1,800 centimorgans in common, which roughly qualified as like a biological aunt, uncle, or like a really close cousin.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so basically, that's when she stated the claim, "I am your biological aunt, and the only way that that's possible is if my brother is your dad." And so upon hearing this news, I'm like, yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
That's crazy. There's no way. Um, so initially, my reaction is just skepticism, but curious. And I wanted to. I'm not one of those people who's just gonna shut you out because making like a absurd claim. I'm gonna at least listen to what you have to say. Just give you the respect and of that. She told me about her brother, and she told me that she had been talking to her mom and her dad, so who are now my grandparents, and they're exchanging pictures. And I got a picture of Jay when he was young, and I swear I was like, I don't even need this ancestry DNA test to know. I mean, holy cow! A side by side picture. I
Oh.
thought it was me. I mean,
Oh
it's
wow.
crazy. It is so insane, and even my dad, he has seen it, and he's just like, yeah, yeah, that's definitely your
Oh.
makes sense. So it's been wild, but anyway, after initially hearing all of it, I had I went through like a little mini identity crisis. Like I felt like my whole life was in question, and I don't know who I am all of a sudden, and it was bad. I got real. My emotions were all over the place, and I even had to tell my fiance to just like leave me alone for a second. I need to think. I need peace.
Yep.
I just need to be alone. And after sleeping on it that night, I decided, all right, I'm just going to meet with my dad and present this. And so we met for lunch, and I told him about it, and he, to my surprise, he didn't react in a like crazy way. he had that face of like, yep, here we go. This is that conversation I haven't wanted to have. I didn't want to ever have, but here we're having it. So that was the face I got. So I didn't know what was about to come out of his mouth, but he says to lay out all the cards on the table. When we first got the ancestry DNA test back, he said that everybody in the family saw that I wasn't on the family tree.
Mm.
I was the only one who didn't know, but everybody else saw that, and everyone, talking behind my back, trying to figure out why am I not there? That doesn't make sense. Even my brother's is list. He's the only person who is on my family tree, and he's listed as a half brother. I mean, that's evidence enough. Not everybody in my family who I thought I was related to took that, and I'm not related to any of them. The only one I'm related to is my half brother because we have the same mom.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
my dad just told me we've all known about this.
Really? Really?
Yeah, my stepmom was really wanting him to tell me, but when they all sat down and discussed it, my dad was pretty adamant on the believing that it's best that I didn't know. And I think, yeah, I agree with that decision because, to be honest, like, I could have got my whole life without knowing this and I would have been just fine. Like, I loved
Mm-hmm.
my life before now, and it was great, and I love my family. I'm lucky, and that's all, and that's, I'm blessed. But life was good. So we don't know how this whole scenario with the new family, was going to go. So in my dad's perspective, you tell your son who's already had a hard life as it is that, now your family's not your family, and for what could have been a mistake on ancestry DNA's end, maybe, like, it was just too many what ifs, and he didn't want to do that. So,
Yeah.
and that's okay, because I found out like a year after that. So they kind of held that a secret for a while, but I found out like a year later naturally from somebody else, and I feel like it happened the way that it was meant to happen. And I think after all this shock rolled off of me, I became aware of how this was not just affecting me. This is not just about me. I was like, yeah, I might fit into the NPE category now, but what I've learned through this whole thing is, man, this is not about me. I'm just so amazed at, in this certain scenario, how I have brought families together. I mean, some people have been hurt, but in my case, I would say that I'm lucky, that both families have been extremely supporting of me and one another. They don't want to get in the way of each other. They respect each other, love each other, and it's just worked out. And Jay, is the biological dad, is an amazing guy, and to be honest, just all the time that we've spent together in the past 3 weeks it's been amazing.
Yeah. That sounds, oh, Matt, that sounds wonderful. So you are really blessed. You have, it sounds like, two amazing dads in your life. And
Mm-hmm.
did you say that the first time your dad suspected that suspected paternity, that you were an NPE, was when all of you had gotten your ancestry DNA results? Or had he suspected beforehand?
No, yeah, he never suspected beforehand. This only came up when the test came, and he even told me, he said, "Look, if we didn't do this DNA stuff and you tried telling me this, I would say you lost your mind." He's like, but
Wow.
there's
Yeah.
just there's too much. I mean, when I was talking to Jada, they could even not they could remember the grandparents could remember when my mom went over to Jay's house with my sister Kristen when she was little. So there's just too many people that could actually remember them and remember my mom. So it was insane, really. And it's just been so crazy.
When you found out you were an NPE, did you talk with your mom about this?
Oh, yeah, I guess I left that important detail out. She's no longer in the picture, so she had passed away. So that made this
Oh,
entire
I'm sorry.
thing a little bit more difficult to figure out because we had a missing key, missing puzzle to miss a piece of the puzzle that we couldn't talk to get some answers from. So all breaking down the timeline, it is the fact of the matter is she would have had sexual relationships with my biological dad while she was still in a relationship with my other dad. So
Okay.
infidelity.
I'm
Yeah.
well, I'm first of all, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear about your mom's passing.
No, that's all. That's okay.
And yeah, this always makes it really hard to find answers then when you
Yeah.
don't have someone that you can ask.
Yeah, it's just
Yes.
funny now to me and my sister. Really, is just like still even years later, she still finds a way to like pop up somehow.
Now, how about your younger sister? Wouldn't you
No, I just have
you
one
would still
sister.
be related? Oh, just one sister. Sorry about
Yeah,
that. Okay.
my one sister's older, and just
Older
she's older
sister.
about
Okay.
7 8 years.
And she is your
My
half
mom's,
sister?
yeah, different dad.
Okay, got it. So now, have you found out with your new biological father, do you have any more siblings?
Yeah, um, so I guess to be precise, to be exact, like, um, he has two, two of his own. So those would be
Hmm.
my half brothers. Um, they're one of them is a few years older than me, and the other one's a few months younger than me. So I'm kind of right
Oh,
in the
okay.
middle. So basically,
Okay.
I went to thinking I had one brother and one half sister to now I have three half brothers and one half sister.
Okay.
And then
Wow.
not and actually um Jay, my biological dad, is in a new marriage, and she has several kids as well. So technically, even though they're not blood, they're like brothers still. So
Yeah.
there's a lot, and they had altogether they have like 8 or 9 kids, and then yeah. So now this my seriously, I thought I had a decent sized family, but closer to like a small family in this area. But now it just exploded. Like I've met so many people in the past 3 weeks. It's insane.
So you have gotten to meet them.
Yes.
Can you tell me about this? That's so exciting.
Yeah. So the first meeting was with Jada, the my biological aunt, her husband, um, one of their no two I think two of their children, a boyfriend, and then like a cousin or something like that. We all met and had tacos, and um, Jada was just so excited because basically this is like her little project. She went and did Ancestry DNA, got real pumped about doing the family tree, and then she stumbles upon like the biggest treasure you could possibly find is that like your brother has another kid out there.
Wow.
And if you think about it, if I feel like in my position, if I'm approaching my 50s, I can't have kids, and I find out that I have an opportunity to give love to another son of mine, I would be upset that I missed his life, but I would
Yeah.
also be excited that, hey, I have a son here. I may not have to do all the diaper stuff, but hey, now I'm just basically like, you have an opportunity to do something right this time. I've That's what it feels like to me. Me and my dad were, we bumped heads, but we have a good relationship now. But doing this, finding out I have a second dad, it just kind of feels like, oh hey, it's an opportunity to do things a little differently. Now that I'm a little bit older and a little bit wiser, not by too much.
Right? Yeah.
But that after that first meeting, oh, it went really well. And I actually talked to my biological dad on the phone. It was the same night that Jada told him. Because when she told me, when we found out together, she didn't tell Jay for another week or so because he doesn't live local, and this is something that she wanted to tell him in person.
Okay.
So there was a family gathering that they were having anyway, so they got together, and that's where she told him. And upon receiving the news, he cried and was first, as I just said, he was sad. He said that he wasn't there, but I also felt it was my responsibility to let it be known that I was raised well. I had a good childhood. Don't feel bad about that. I'm good.
Yeah.
Dad raised me well. So
Yeah.
I made sure to let him know about that. I said, but here we are now, and to me, it's been a little awkward, but it's been, he's perfect for that. He's perfect. He's the perfect person for an awkward situation because he'll just talk so much, it just won't be awkward anymore. Like
Nice.
I'm not much of a talker. Obviously it's easy to tell, to recite a story or to go back over some things that have happened over the past couple weeks. But I mean, this guy can talk all night long, talk your ear off. And that's perfect for me because I mean, it's just awkward. You meeting someone that you is a complete stranger to you. And then you have those just complex like fears or those phobias that you may have within yourself that you kind of just portray on this man. Like you may have a fear of a father figure, so you fear a stranger that you've never had. Your fear, maybe you're of feeling vulnerable. You don't want to. Your fear of vulnerability. You don't want to be vulnerable with some stranger. It's just so many things. It's so overwhelming, and it needs to be taken in doses. Because I know these kinds of things can send people into shock. I mean,
Yeah.
luckily, I mean, this has been one of those cases where I haven't had to put in as much effort as others are putting in towards me. And I have somebody really, really dear to me who is in an opposite situation where, her biological dad just doesn't want anything to do with her, and that's just so heartbreaking. So
Yeah.
I can only feel pain and for people like that, and I just don't understand how people can desert their children. But everybody
Yeah.
everybody has their reasons for pain. I'm sorry, everyone has their reasons for things that they do, and yes, you're free to make your own decisions, but your children have the right to be angry at you.
Yes. Yes, they
Yeah.
do. Well, now tell me about meeting Jay. So you just found out all of this, what, like 3 weeks ago, and you've now met Jay and your aunt, your
Hmm.
biological father, and have you met some of the siblings? How have you felt about this?
Yeah, I've met just about everybody. Um, I don't know. When I heard how excited they were to meet me, I'm just like, yeah, yeah, let's come on, let's do it. I I was nervous, but at the same time, I'm just a daredevil, risk taker. I like to live on the edge of life, and to me, that just sounded like a thrill. Like, oh my gosh, I can go hang out with all these family, this whole big family, and they're all really family oriented, and they all love each other so much. There's you got some of that masculine camaraderie going on, and then you have a good amount of the women there as well. It's just real balance. It's like seriously, it's just like the perfect family, and uh, yeah,
Oh,
meeting.
and it sounds like they've welcomed you with open arms, which a lot of us don't always get, and that has to feel good to to know that they were excited and wanted to meet you.
Yeah, it's made this process a lot smoother for me anyway. I don't know how smooth I've made it for them in the transitioning, but they have helped me tremendously. And I know I hear them mention a lot about, oh, they don't want to scare me away. But I have to remind them, like, you're not scaring me away. Like, I feel so welcomed and I feel at home, and it's just so natural. I mean, the it's so crazy though. Um, we're relatives, and I'm sitting here hanging out with people who are my blood, and I am noticing like similarities in the way that we act and things that we do, and it's so natural. It's trippy. The best way I can explain it, but the craziest thing is when you are presented in front of somebody who created you and you just never even knew. You had no idea. Or even for those who knew,
Oh,
it's still just as frightening to stand in front of that. It's just I'm not great with big words, but I know that just being in front of your creator is something about that is just frightening. It's different. It's different though when like you're raised by your parents or with them your whole life, but when you're presented, just boom, here's your dad. When you're fully capable of understanding what a dad is, it's so much different.
is your new family, are they local? Are they easily accessible to you?
Yes, this. All right, so aunts, my aunts, uncle, cousins, some siblings and grandparents all live very local, within an hour's drive. And
Oh, wow.
my biological dad, and that the siblings, their siblings right now are they live in West Texas, but um, they used to live over here too. They just recently moved out there like 2 years ago. So I've been living next door to these people for my whole life.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Do you do you think your mom knew?
Yeah, that's the big question everybody wants to ask, and um yeah, there's speculation. I mean, so I have one person who says that she knew, and another person that says that she didn't know. And to me, it doesn't matter. I just, regardless of how I got here, I'm here today, and I'm just thankful for that.
What a great attitude.
Yeah.
So, it sounds like you are well on your way. You've to getting along with your new family, and I mean that really brings a smile to my face. I wish more NPEs had that had this similar story to tell.
So do I.
Um, yeah, and so I'm assuming you're going to be you have plans or will be making plans with them to do more in the future, right?
Yeah, it's actually where we just came back from tonight. It was actually really sudden, out of nowhere, but we just decided to get together all of a sudden last night, and then we just kind of hung out, played games. I met another cousin that I hadn't met yet, but was dying to meet me.
Do you have similar mannerisms? Do you look like any of your new family members?
Yeah, honestly, yes. I resemble all of, like, my biological dad, the aunt, the grandparents. I resemble them so much. The siblings, they look a little different, but you can still see the like the mannerisms, the way that, like, we're all really quiet and introverted, but like around, you get us around the right people, we'll talk your ear off.
I'm really happy for you. I Thanks for talking to me tonight. Sorry to pull you away from your brand new family. I didn't realize you were
No, no,
hanging
no,
out with
that's
them.
okay.
That's
To
amazing.
like, I love them already, but still, I need family in doses. I still got to sleep.
So with that, actually, it sounds like oh, I should ask you: is there a place that people can find you if they want to know more about Matt?
Yeah, if you are, um, if you have any questions, or it really doesn't matter, if you just need somebody to talk to about anything, really. I just love helping people, so I'm more than willing to speak on my experience with uh, this whole NPE thing. But also, if you feel more comfortable speaking with a woman, I assume Lily here could
Mhm.
could do some speaking for you, or even my fiance. If you want to reach out to me, I could help you. I'll get in contact with her. You can reach me on, let's do Instagram, as it's the easiest to remember. It's just MLZ.Y. So
All right. So on Instagram,
MLZ.Y. Yes,
mlz.y. All
correct.
right. Great. Oh, thank you so much, Matt, for talking to me. It was heartwarming to hear your story, and good luck with everything with both of your wonderful families into the future.
Thank you for the opportunity. It's been fun, and even just a way for me to vent too, because I haven't even been able to really like talk. I've just been back and forth meeting people, and trying to make sure I'm not being selfish and love on my dad and them too. So just being able to let it all out has been awesome. And I really hope that all of your listeners can get something out of this story of mine. And thank you very much, Lily.
Thanks again to Matt for sharing today. These stories are here for us to listen to and nod along with. Be a part of the storytelling. If you are an NPE that would like to share your story, email npestories@gmail.com. You do not have to give any identifying information. I'd like to hear from you. Subscribe to this podcast to hear more. Come, heal with us.